What's up, everybody? Michael Johnson here, and as this is the beginning of a whole lot of fun, and we've been prepping for this for quite some time, and what a better day to start it than the week of Thanksgiving, at least here in the States. That's what's coming up, and I'm so thankful to be able to do this and to be able to get on and speak with anybody who's out there and been following the business choreography journey. We have so many cool things that we are going to be sharing with you in the coming days, and we thought we'd start this series of that we're going to call Backstage Choreo Live, and that's just for me to get on and do some fun systems choreography building for businesses. And we're streaming to a lot of different places. So I'm not sure where you're at, but feel free to let us know. We're working on all of our streaming tech, and little by little we'll get all of that put together. We are using StreamYard, so if you haven't seen StreamYard before, then sometimes if you want to make comments, you have to log in or put your name in so that it knows who you are. So we'll be doing some cool streaming here over the next few days. If you don't want to miss any of the streams and any of the cool systems building that I'll be doing with you guys, for you guys, then join our Systems for Experts community. It's already going and growing, and we'd love to see you in there. It'd be a lot of fun. We have all sorts of really cool things that we give you for free. You can join the community for free. We do vet who comes in so that we don't get a whole bunch of bots or random computers trying to join and making it bad for the rest of us. So when you join, it'll take just a little bit of time for us to see that you're real, and we'll let you in the community. We've got a bunch of free courses in there, a lot of cool training, just some really cool things. But we're going to be talking a lot about systems and a lot about some cool business systems that you can utilize for your business. And one of the things that you'll probably get used to here is that I love systems. I love all sorts of systems. I love systems for the brain. I love systems in dance, which we called choreography back in my professional ballroom dancing days. And we love systems in business and in acquisitions and investments and all those kinds of things. So we're going to be talking a lot about those and sharing with you some of the coolest frameworks that we've created just for you. Because when you do a lot of systems, when you build a lot of systems for a lot of different businesses and you do it over and over again, there are some patterns. When you start to see patterns, you want to actually put those down so that you can repeat them and do them over and over again. And so what's really cool is that we've put these into some pretty cool frameworks that are much more easy to understand and easy to palette. And so for some of you out there that might stumble upon this, if you like hearing about business and systems, then you're in the right place. If you don't, you should probably just unsubscribe from wherever you're watching, or you can unfollow me, and that's cool. I won't be offended. But if you don't want to hear me talk about business and systems, two of my favorite things, then you're probably in the wrong place. So go ahead and unfollow, unlike, unsubscribe, take a hike. It's all good. It's all good, because I'm going to be talking a lot about business systems in the coming days. And that's really what I call business choreography. And so if you like to hear about that kind of stuff, if you want to hear more about business systems and how you can utilize this in your business, whether you're a solopreneur, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a serial entrepreneur like me, or whether you've been in business for years and ages and a long time, and you have a bunch of Frankenstein that you've put together. And I know how that goes. I've done it myself. I've built my fair share of Frankensteins. I've helped unravel my fair share of Frankensteins for other people and helping them get together what they're doing. Because sometimes you build a business, and you've probably experienced that. Sometimes you build a business, maybe you've bootstrapped a business, and you get it to come alive, but you end up with Frankenstein as wandering around. "Oh, it's alive, right? But it's not exactly what you wanted it to be." And that's cool. That's it happens. I get it. I totally get it. And you just do what you can do to get it off its feet in the beginning. And then ultimately you work to bring it into harmony. And that's what great choreography can do. And some of the best choreographers that I've worked with in dance have kind of shown me the way. And we brought a lot of that over. And I say we because I have some really great people that work with me, and that I've brought my choreography days to, my dancing days, and brought it to the business world, and brought those concepts, those principles, those dance principles and choreography principles, and brought it and melded it with dance. I spent a lot of days um, building software systems and building software in general, and working in that corporate space where systems were so necessary. And I've done that with a lot of people in helping them build their systems and their journey to maybe taking their brick and mortar business online, maybe some of them just starting an online business. And nowadays, it's not so weird to be online and have a business and have it be a multi-million-dollar business. That is not weird anymore. In fact, that's pretty normal, right? And a lot of people after the pandemic, they actually came back and recognized that, hey, we were actually running a bunch of systems that were bloated. What does that mean? That means maybe you had too much of a team. Maybe you had too many things put in and installed. And I don't know about you, but I know that I trimmed down a lot of the companies that I had during the pandemic, and recognized that I was utilizing a whole lot of things that were nice, but I didn't really need them. And so we were all forced to really trim down, cut the fat, so to speak, and really get the necessary systems in place. And so what we're going to be doing over the time, I'm going to try to stay as consistent as I can and get on and do these backstage choreo lives with you guys as much as I can. And part of the reason is because systems are rough. And when you talk about business, there's a lot of tactics and a lot of bro marketers out there, and there's a lot of people talking a big game. And so as I discussed this with the team and looked at what I wanted to do and how I wanted to serve the people that were out there, I decided that AI is kind of taking over the world. In case you hadn't noticed, it's kind of ruining everything. In some ways good, and in some ways bad. I would say some of the good ways is it's making it so that we can be faster and we can do things faster. So you can't not use AI. But at the same time, one of the things that's really challenging is that in very short order, it's going to get harder and harder to tell what's made up and what's not. What video is getting so real that you can't tell what's real and what's not. You can't tell what's AI generated and what's not. We can teach AI to write and speak just like us. And so it's getting harder and harder to deal with that. But for a while, and certainly right now, one of the ways that I know that I can beat that for a while is getting on live and showing you guys that I'm doing it. I'm doing it live. There's nothing to make up. I either know my stuff or I don't. If you guys have questions, depending on which platform you're following me on, you can write those questions in the comments and I'll address those along the way. Hopefully, as we get better and better at our streaming tech. It's a little new for me. A little. We've been streaming for podcasts and other things, but we're streaming right now to a lot of different locations. Like I said, if you don't want to miss it ever, just join our Systems for Experts community and we'll be streaming into there all the time. So you'll never miss it. We are streaming to a number of different platforms. And so I don't know which platform you're on right now, but whichever one you're on, feel free to put comments in and or let us know, give us a thumbs up if you like the thing that we're doing. But these are here for you to take advantage of. My hope really is just to serve and just to give back. If you want to find a way to give me money, then I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out and get into our world somehow. And that's cool. And if not, take what we are giving you here and the systems that we're giving and the stuff that we're teaching you about here and run with it. Go use it. Go implement it. Even if it's one little thing, then cool. Then I will have made an impact. And that's the goal. The goal is really just to make an impact, do something good for all of you guys out there that are trying to make a difference. Now, if you're not an expert, or you're not an entrepreneur, you don't have a business, and you are like, for the love, stop talking about that stuff. Honestly, just unsubscribe, unfollow. You can take a hike and it's all good. I won't be offended. I won't even likely know. And that's totally cool. But for those of you guys that want to hear more about this and you want to learn more about systems and business choreography as a whole, then I'm your guy. This is the place we're gonna do some really cool stuff. And so one of the things that I wanted to start off with today, right? There's a little bit of an intro. So in case somebody comes back and sees this later, because I know this will be up in different places. One of the things I wanted to start with is the business choreography systems framework. So I'm going to pull me aside here and show it to you. This is called the business choreography systems framework. For those of you in my community, you already have started to hear about this and learn about it. This is it. It looks kind of crazy, a little bit out there, a little fancy, kind of cool, but this is something that those of you that are part of the Systems for Experts community, you'll start to get used to this. You'll start to see it. And it is really, really cool. This is the overall picture, the overall meta view of the systems framework. Each of these are a systems framework that is imperative for you to have in your business choreography. The top one is called the E7S framework. This one right here is called the M4S framework. This one here is called the TCL, the choreography layer. And then in the middle there, you'll see the Alpha Systems framework and the EEI framework. And all of those I will be teaching about and sharing with you about these things because I just want you to be able to use them and do something with them, do something positive with them, use them for good and let me know that you did. All right. Because that's really where we're going to make an impact. There are a lot of changes coming in the world right now. AI is taking over this and that and everything. But I really believe in the human spirit. I really believe in your human expertise because we've already kind of experienced this in the dance world where I was born and raised. I grew up as a dancer since I was 5. I danced all the way through the pro ranks and into the pro circuit and even judged and became an examiner. And in that process, I'm so thankful for that time period because one of the things that we learned in dance is that the systems were important. We had to learn the basics. We had to learn our basics really well, and we had to get really good at them. And there were systems that were created prior to that and passed on from one coach to the next, to the next, to the next. And they created really amazing dancers. And those systems were tried and true. Now, there were different beliefs along the way, and that's cool. But those systems were so important because those systems came through and started showing us what we needed to do to be able to reproduce the same thing. Now, just like AI coming in and changing the world and taking over all this stuff and maybe even taking jobs away from people, it's not as scary to me as a former professional dancer. And here's why: because I believe in you, I believe in your special sauce. And the reason I do is because as a pro dancer, I had to learn to believe in people because the systems were the same, the basics were the same, the things we did with our body, that was the same. But what wasn't the same was our special sauce, our special, unique view of the world, the stuff we brought to the table. I call it EEI. That's at the center of this overall systems framework. And that EEI is so valuable. That EEI is your experience, your expertise, and your insight. And it is so valuable to the world. And you thought I might have said it was so valuable to you. And it is really valuable to you. In fact, going forward, as AI is starting to ruin, quote unquote, ruin everything, your EEI is going to be the difference maker. It's going to be the thing that actually does continue to keep our humanity in this space. There are lots of things that AI is going to do faster than we can do. It's already smarter than we are, and yet it's dumb as rocks. I don't know if you've noticed that about AI. It's so smart. It's smarter than the smartest human ever lived. It's smarter than Einstein. It's faster than we could ever be as humans. It's already doing that, but somehow it finds a way to be dumb as rocks. I don't know if you've experienced it. I've experienced AI going off the rails. I've experienced the smartest, newest AI going down the road, writing a set of emails, and all of a sudden you start looking at it and you go, what in the world are you talking about? What is it? What are you doing? This smarter than humans AI. So to bring it back to the dance analogy, I taught so many people. I've taught thousands of people how to dance. There's never been one that I haven't been able to teach to dance. Everybody says, oh, I have 2 left feet. And I'm like, that's okay. We'll just make one of them right. And that's just how it goes, right? But along the way, what I've recognized and what I've noticed is that that secret sauce, that EEI that comes out of every human, that's what makes us unique. It's what makes us special, just like your thumbprint. It's what allows us to create things that have heart and soul. And how cool is that? You want to have that. You want to have that in your systems. You want to have it in your business. Now, what the important part here is that if we can bake in, and that's why EEI is in the middle, if we can bake in your EEI into the systems that you build in your business, then we have now automatically brought your heart and your soul into your business, into your world, because I'm not crazy enough to think that it's only in business. In fact, if you build really great systems in your business, but you don't build really great systems in your world, in your life, in your personal accounts, then you're in for a world of hurt. It will eventually find its way back to your business. In fact, I've had a personal development company through my years, and so many business owners needed the personal development because they built the business. And then what happened? The systems that ran their world, that ran their personal life, they fell apart because they were really good at building business systems, but they weren't really great at building personal systems. And that's the big deal, right? So with each of these systems that you need to start to learn and understand, We got to start at the root of it, at the core of systems. And so you're going to hear me say this a lot, right? Because what I've learned through teaching for literally 30 years, 40 years, is that regardless of what I'm teaching, doesn't matter if it was dance or if it was business, doesn't make a difference. Regardless of what I'm teaching, the systems matter, but the principle, the basics, the root of the thing that you're teaching is the most important thing. If I'm teaching rumba, right? And if you're not a dancer, you might go, oh yeah, rumba, I saw that in Dancing with the Stars. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Rumba, if I'm teaching a swing, if I'm teaching a tango, it doesn't matter. I have to teach the root principle. And if I don't, I'm going to pay for it. And I've also learned that the hard way by teaching the end instead of teaching the process to get to the end. And that is what systems are all about. And so if we look again back at, oops, that's the wrong button. If we look back again at the business choreography systems framework, at the middle, we have your EEI, which is your secret sauce, your good stuff, the stuff that makes you you, right? But that's just one part of the guts of the whole thing, of this whole ecosystem of systems. Next is what I call the alpha systems framework. And if you want to learn like the inside, the guts of the alpha systems framework, just go to systemsforexperts.com/alpha or ASF, alpha systems framework. It's free. You just download it. It's a whole thing. There's a whole training on it. But the gist of it, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit here, and every time we go live, I'll be sharing it with you. So like if you really just didn't want to get the free thing that I was giving you, it's cool. I'll teach it here too, because it's important that you learn it. And that is the alpha systems framework. Why alpha? Because alpha is the beginning. The alpha systems framework is really all about, here, I'll put it up. There we go. It's all about having a great trigger, all about having all the process to make that system work, all about the outcome that you're going after, and the proof that shows you that you're headed in the right direction. And of course, you know, at the middle, I've already said this, your EEI is at the middle, and that's cool, and that's exactly how it should be, right? Now, this alpha systems framework, if you want to go dig into it, you can go to systemsforexperts.com/ASF alpha systems framework and get it for free. There's a free masterclass that's in there as well. You can download the PDF. You can have it. Please use it. This is the core of a really great system. This is at the core. And at the core of every great system, you have to have the roots of it, the principles of it. You have to have a trigger, something that gets it all going. And the triggers are interesting. Sometimes they have to be manual triggers. Sometimes they have to be automated triggers. Sometimes you want to set those triggers up so that you don't have to remember them, right? So there's lots of different triggers that you could use to start a set of processes going. In fact, people talk about systems in a lot of different ways. Sometimes in personal development, they call it your morning routine. What's your morning routine? Well, I really feel like I can't lose weight. Well, what's your morning routine? And then they try to interrupt the trigger that stops you from going to the gym or stops you from breaking your fast too early. You know, breakfast. That's why they call it breakfast. Come on, people. It was built in ages ago, right? Breakfast, right? Because you were breaking your fast, that time period between when you ate dinner, and traditionally used to be at like 4 or 5 o'clock, right? And then you didn't eat until, 10, 11, 12, maybe 2 in the afternoon, you break your fast, right? And imagine that. There's all sorts of science showing that fasting is actually healthy for your body. Anyway, we're not here to talk about dieting. But But the idea is that the systems that you create make a difference. Now, some systems won't run because you've set up a bad process. Now, everything's a system, whether you like it or not. And that's the thing that we are going to be teaching a lot. I'm going to be sharing with you a lot of things all about systems. And I think everything is a system. So therefore, if everything is a system, then the quality of your systems is the quality of your life. And I like that. I like that. I learned a piece of that back in my NLP days when I became a neuro-linguistic practitioner, master of neurolinguistics. It was fun times. I love NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. Used to sound scary until now everybody talks about it. It's not so scary anymore. But here's the thing. Neurolinguistics was based upon systems. Linguistics is a system of language. And as you start to learn how your language works and how the system it is that you use to do your language, you start to go, oh, wait, wow, I was really talking to myself poorly there. That's true. That is true. It's quite possible that if you just change how you talk to yourself, things might be better. It can't be that easy. Well, it could be that easy. And it might take some systems surrounding that to make it work. A couple of years ago, no, it's been more than that now. 4-5 years ago, I got really, really sick. This was after the pandemic had started to calm down a little bit. And I got really, really sick. And I thought, man, maybe I got the bug, right? The pandemic bug. And so I went to the doctors and no, it wasn't that. They didn't know what it was. Got tested and all that stuff. Nope, it's not that. Okay. All right. But I was out. Out for like a month. And it did a number on me. When you're sick, the only thing you want is to be healthy. That's it. And for those of you that have been in that space, let me know. Let me hear you. Right? When you're sick, the only thing you want is your health. Only thing you want is to be healthy again, to get back to normal. And I'd get up and I'd be half hour, maybe max. Then I'd be down for the count for the rest of the day. And it was rough. It was rough. And it really did a number on me. Laying there in bed, just thinking, gosh, what I wouldn't give to work right now. Right? Like try to do some work and I was dead. Couldn't do it. Couldn't even sit at my desk to do some work. I was gone. And as I slowly came out of that, a month and a half later, it started getting a little bit better. And I remember thinking to myself, I had one of those never again moments. And in that space and in that time, I said, never again, never again. I'm going to get healthy. It wasn't about the sick side. It was like, I'm not going to do this again. I'm going to do what I need to do. But I had to do it in a way that I knew I could succeed. And all this training, I had a lot of time to think while being down for the count. And I thought, you know what, I'm never going to make it. It's never going to happen if I don't install the system and the systems to make sure that I can have the discipline to get healthy. And so, believe it or not, even as a pro dancer, I hadn't been working out my whole life. In fact, in the early days of my competitive career, when I was on tour and traveling around, I had a trainer and I was on a regimen. I mean, it had been years though since that had happened. I was always just like, I'm a dancer. I dance all day long. I'm going to be healthy. And then when I retired, I stopped, and it was like, that's probably part of what happened, right? So I stopped dancing, and my body was like, what are you doing? You're not allowed to do that. So I implemented some systems. One of them was that I was going to work out every day. And I thought, that's crazy sauce. I'll work out every day. And I was like, well, wait a second. Okay, what if I worked out 5 days a week? Okay, if I do 5 days a week, then I can give myself Saturday and Sunday to rest and recover and then go back to it on Monday. I think I can commit to that. So then I figured it out and I was like, okay, let's just start small. I'm not even go crazy. Let's just build a system that I can do, and I'm going to make it through an entire year and I'm not going to miss a day. And I remember that first year it was rough. I had to build that trigger. I had to build it in so that no matter what happened in the morning, I set a trigger and I set multiple ways for me to kick in to working out. Now, mind you, when I started this, I wasn't in great shape yet. I was still trying to recover from that fiasco, whatever that was, that knocked me out. But I was like, no, I'm starting it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this regimen. And so I started with just basic calisthenics. And I was like, I'm not going to go to the gym. That will be too much friction. I'll never make it. I'll never be able to do that. Okay, what can I do? Okay, so then I found out, okay, what can I do for my arms? What can I do for my abs? What can I do for my legs? What can I do that I can do in my house? Set aside a space and start getting my body back to shape. I started down that path and I didn't miss the first year. And then I was like, I should up this. And so towards the end of the year, it was in a flow and I added some more. And then at the end of the second year, I was like, okay, let's see if I can do 2 years. Are you kidding me? 2 years, not miss a day. That second year, we had a big vacation plan. We were going to go to Hawaii for like 2 weeks. And I was like, nope, I'm planning ahead and I'm going to set the triggers in my mind ahead of time so that when I'm there, my brain already knows that I'm going to work out. My kids thought I was crazy, but I had set it up in my head. I said, okay, you know what? Every day that was a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or a Friday, I wasn't going to do Saturday, Sunday, still going to stay with the same regiment. Every day, I'm going to find a place on the beach to work out. And so in the months leading up to that, as I was working out, I set up in my mind, in my imagination, I set a trigger that when I woke up, I could see myself, whatever hotel room it was, wherever we were staying, I could see myself walking to the beach, setting out my stuff and going through my workout. And I did. I didn't miss a day. Did not miss a day, even on vacation. And I'll tell you what, it was even better than my imagination. Working out on the beach, sun coming up. Oh man, it was great. I can see it now. I can still feel it. But I had to set up some systems ahead of time to get myself there. Now, that's just an overblown, long-winded story, so I apologize. However, get used to it. I like telling stories, so if you don't like stories, peace out. You should unsubscribe now because I'm probably going to tell a lot. But here's the thing. We need to have systems in place, right? I keep clicking the wrong. There we go. We need to have systems in place. And this alpha systems framework is the root of your systems. Your systems have to have a trigger. You have to have the process set up. You have to know the outcome and know that you're headed towards that outcome. And then you got to have the proof. Why? Because if I would have set that up and not seen any muscle growth, not seen any physical improvement, I probably would have had a hard time continuing the system. Now, for those of you that do run a business and have employees, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you set up a business and you get moving on it and you hire the people that you need to, and you're like, hey, this is how we're going to do this thing. I remember doing this with some of my team members through one of the businesses that I was COO of. And I was like, this is what we're going to do because, I know systems. And so I set up this system. I set up this process and I thought it was great. But I didn't take into account from them how they needed to run it and their experience, their EEI, their special sauce. So I built this system and I plopped it on top of them and it didn't work. Why? Because I was looking at the processes from the outside instead of them looking at the processes with me and or for me because they knew it better, and then helping to build the system so that it was sustainable. And that's a really big deal. Now, sometimes you got to come in and you got to ruffle up what was going on, right? You got to shake up the box a little bit and go, okay, I'm looking at this system that you guys created and it's crap, right? Okay, maybe you don't say it like that, right? But it's just not as good as you'd like it to be, right? And or that the proof isn't showing that it's as good as it should be. And so you come back in and you have to go through and figure this out. And so you go, wait a second, what's the outcome that you're wanting to get? Now, that's a funny question, right? Of course, I'd have systems that were going to do the outcome. Of course you would. Oh, sure. Of course you would. That's so true, except for when it's not true, which is a lot of the times. And so you look at the outcome and you go, well, what are you trying to accomplish here? And they go, well, we're trying to do this and that. And you say, well, but that's not what we want. They're like, well, but you said this is how we wanted to do it. Well, I know I said that, but that's not the outcome. And they're like, but you told me you wanted me to get this other thing. So then you go back in, you start with the outcome, you figure out the process to get there. Right? So we have triggers, we have processes, we have outcomes. And this you've got to deal with over and over and over again. Over and over again. And it doesn't matter whether it's a big, ornate, crazy system that has tons of steps and tons of parts to the process, or whether it's just a simple, easy system that's something like, okay, every morning when I get up, I'm going to get up this way so that I don't forget my glasses off my nightstand when I wake up and roll out of bed. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to do that. I'm going to put my glasses on and I'm going to go there. And then I'm going to do this and I'm going to go in this order, right? So you set these systems so that your day works the way you expect it to. I know exactly how long it takes me to get to my desk once I have made my hot tea in the morning, because that was part of the process that I created as I was trying to get healthy. Get some green tea in the system. It worked for the Chinese culture for centuries. So I thought I'd try it. And it works pretty good. At least until I find something that works better, right? So we've got to do this with business as well. And how cool is that? And so this is, just to tie it back in, let's go back to this. So we've got the BCSF framework, and the Alpha System framework and the EEI framework is at the middle of it. If you're not sure what your EEI is and what your special sauce is, I've helped a lot of people figure that out through the years. So I've built a whole framework and a whole system to help bring out your secret sauce. So if you're looking to figure out what your secret sauce is, go watch the EEI framework masterclass. It's awesome. If you don't know where it's at, just ask and I'll tell you. You can watch the class for free. Again, just trying to help. We're trying to help. Right? For some of you, you're going to want our help to help you choreograph your systems. And that's cool. If you do, let us know. We'll figure it out. All right. And for some of you, you're like, I can do it myself. Awesome. I totally respect that because I've done it too. Right. So if we can help you in that process, awesome. If you want the help this way, awesome. All right. So you're going to get the information you need, right? But when you're building systems, right, any one of these the E7S framework, the M4S framework, right? The E7S is your essential 7 systems for your business. The M4S is the metaphor systems, and then the TCL is the choreography layer. So all those are important, right? We've talked really a lot more about EEI and the alpha system, and I probably can't talk enough about them. But what I want to do here real quick before I finish today, because this is kind of an introduction, right? We're going to get in, we're going to be building some specific stuff. And we're going to build it together. And we're going to build it with you because that way you can utilize it and you can put it to good use. And that's the goal. So I'm going to share my screen here and go to a tool that I've built. And this tool is super cool. And so you're going to see this and we're going to get familiar with this along the way. This tool's super cool. I just got tired of building random systems that didn't have cool stuff, right, that I could use. So I have my key here and all the cool stuff that I can use, all of our systems over here so we know what's going on, the reminder of our frameworks and which one we're using at any given time. So we're going to be using this tool to build some cool systems along the way that you guys can utilize. And it's going to range everywhere from attraction, what I call attraction choreography, for like marketing type systems, to team type systems, to nurturing choreography systems, retention systems, but maybe even some personal systems, right? Stuff that you can do for yourself, for your mind, for your body, for your soul. We're going to be talking about optimization systems. We're going to be talking about the principles of choreography that you can bring when you're choreographing your systems. And my hope is that you will get so many cool ideas, whether you use one of our systems outright or not, right? One of the ones that we build here live, or or maybe you just get an idea and you're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea I could do that. And I got to the point where I was kind of sick of the bro marketers trying to sell you on some little teeny thing that was probably just a basic system that you should be able to have and do and create. And so I'm just going to show them to you. Just going to give them to you for you to understand. Now, there's, of course, I'm in business too. So if you're like, what's the catch? Well, the catch is if you want us to do it for you, let me know. If not, go do it. Like, be an A player. It's all good. Or if you're just like, you know what, I've been on this journey for a while, just help me. Cool. Reach out. We have lots of ways. Lots of ways you can reach out, lots of ways you can do that. So I'm not worried about that, but we're going to be building some systems and some cool stuff together along the way, and, screenshot it or something and take it away. You can have it for your journey. It's all good. Right. And, most importantly, don't miss any of the lives. I'm not crazy enough to commit to the same time every day. So I'll go live when I can go live. And so hopefully you won't miss them, but you'll be able to go back and find them if you have to, and or just join the Systems for Experts group. You can go systemsforexperts.com. You can join the community for free and come get all the resources that we've built for you and put together for you and your business and for you to create as much impact as you can. Right now, it's so important in this world that you bring out your secret sauce, your special thing. And I don't know what your special thing is. I just know you have it. I know there is something unique and special, just like with the dancers that I trained, the pros, the amateurs, the little babies that I trained, just like the businesses that I've helped build and that I've helped them create their systems or unravel their systems because they were a mess, right? Just like all of those, I've always been able to see. And that's one of the things that is one of my secret sauce abilities is I've been able to always pull out the best in people. I've always been able to see where they are special, where they're unique, where their secret sauce is, and then help them to put it into their business, into the thing that they're creating, and help them to create the most amount of impact. And it's one of the special missions that I have in my world and for the remainder of my days on this spinning rock is to help as many people as I can share their secret sauce, share their special thing with the people that they can help. Because I know you could probably help more people if you actually were able to systemize and create those things in the best way possible. So I'm super excited to be doing these. Again, we're going to call them Backstage Choreo Live. And we're going to get in and be kind of tactile. So I will probably, if you're coming back to this, I'll probably, or if you haven't seen this one yet, I probably sent you to it from the other ones, because in the other ones, we're going to get super tactile. We're going to get in, we're going to do the thing. We're going to build the thing. I know we didn't do much building today, but you got to have an intro. You got to have a start somewhere. You got to start from the beginning at some point. And so this is the beginning. This is the start of us going through and building out systems in all of the different frameworks and giving them to you so that you can have them, right? Quick side note, if any of you guys are in the mix of your business and things are falling apart and you need some help unwinding the Frankenstein, let me know. I might be able to see it about 10 times faster than you might be able to see it from the outside. And so let me know. Happy to help and happy to lend a hand. All right. Rock and roll. I think we'll call it good for today. And welcome aboard. I hope you enjoy this Backstage Choreo live series that I'm going to do for a while. And let me know if there's a specific system. If you're like, oh my gosh, I saw this bro marketer talking about this kind of system. Can we build it? Yeah, probably. I've built them. I've built them all. We've done them all. I've created summits and book funnels and all sorts of different marketing choreography. We've done, I've overhauled coaching departments and software departments. And I mean, you name it, I've probably built it. And so let's talk about it. If there's something you want to suggest it in the comments. Let me know which systems you want to build. If you saw one of the BCSF frameworks and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to learn more about that, let me know. I'm happy to adjust my order. I'm not like so rigid that I have to go in some specific order. I'm just going to be here building it with you for a while. So that said, welcome aboard. And one more invitation for those of you that are like, this is not my jam. Please leave. Save yourself the notifications. It's all good. I won't be offended. And I probably won't even know you're gone. So unsubscribe, leave some room for those that are really interested in learning about business systems and business choreography, because I know on some of my channels, I only have enough room for so many. So for everybody else, if you're still here and you joined me for this whole thing, and or if you've come back and watched it, leave a comment. Let me know. Subscribe on whatever channel you're in. Leave a like, a heart. I thank you for those likes and hearts that you guys have already left. I appreciate you all, all of you guys that showed up today already. That's freaking awesome. And we'll be doing this more in the future. So Until next time, keep choreographing your business, and we'll see you at the next Backstage Choreo Live. Take care.